don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Hey, soldiers, you see that? That is what leftists do when they want the black vote. They affect a so-called black accent, okay? And they believe that this will help them win elections. And maybe they're right, okay? Because it's not like we've seen anyone stand up and defy this and say, hey, what the hell are you doing? Okay, that's insulting. That's condescending. That's disgusting. All right, you've never seen that happen. Can you imagine if one of these politicians goes into, let's say, an Asian church and affects, does the disgusting Mickey Rooney thing? Can you imagine? Okay, or well, they kind of do it to Hispanics when they got to say a Hispanic word and they affect an Hispanic accent. You know, they do it all the time on media and in politics. Latino, you know, I'm like, it's Latino. You're from America. What are you doing? You know, you're weird. But look, you want to talk about weird? We got Candi CdeBaca from Denver. She's in a leftist on leftist election, so you know it's going to get crazy with the pandering. And what she's decided to do is pander to the black vote and probably some of the far left white vote, a lot of them, by saying we're going to tax white people, okay? Not only are we going to tax them, but we're going to take that money and we're going to give it to black people. Now, this is supposed to cut off all critical thought in the minds of black people. That's what she thinks. Because she's one of these, she calls herself a democratic socialist. There's no such thing. She's a Marxist. And she's doing what Marxists do. She is promoting the taking of one group's property in order to advance her political career. Okay, she's not suggesting this for the benefit of black people. All right, she is doing this so that she can maintain maintain office and possibly seek higher office. So this is where we're at. We got someone suggesting, we're going to get all into this. We've got someone actually out there suggesting that, yeah, go ahead. Let's create a race, and I don't like to say that. Let's create an ethnicity-based tax. There's one race among humans, and that's Homo sapiens sapien. Okay, I don't play this game that the media, the government, and large corporations try to play in dividing us just based on the color of our skin. It's stupid, all right? It's mentally deficient. Now, before we get into it, guys, you know, I need your help. I need you to go ahead and enlist, become a soldier of finance. Hit that subscribe button. That's the way you enlist. Let me know you did that in the comments. I will salute you. Now, the other thing I need, okay, I need you to take a microsecond or a millisecond, whichever is shorter, and hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and do that because that helps the channel immeasurably, and it also lets YouTube know that this is the kind of message that you believe should be shared with others. All right, so we got Candi CdeBaca. She's out there saying that what we need to do in Denver is tax the white folk and then give the money to the black folk, okay? This is not working. It has never worked. This type of thing has never worked. And I'm going to show you how it's going to hurt the entire community, okay? So you take a look at early 20th century Russia when they made the move to communism, okay, and becoming the USSR. You go back and look at that history and what they did with the kulaks, okay? And you can see that it didn't work for them. It took a long time for them to figure it out, better part of a century, okay? But their economy was not able to really, you could call them, and many people have, In many ways, the Soviet Union was a third world country in terms of its economy. It looked a lot like other countries that were classified as third world in terms of its economy. Now, they had a formidable military, all right, because they did have and do have nuclear weapons. But the Soviet Union, that whole thing where they started, appropriating property from one group when they started that thing up, that didn't work. Okay, how's it working out in South Africa? How did it work in Zimbabwe? Okay, does it work? It hasn't thus far. It's not like it has improved the economic lot of the people that were purported to it having, been able to help. What it has done is it has boosted the careers of many a politician. So we've got Candi CdeBaca. And I want to tell you that when I did the research for this video, and I was looking for thumbnails to represent Miss CdeBaca, I couldn't find one where she was dressed in threadbare clothing, did not look like she was working with some financial resources, okay? Lady keeps herself up. She's a nice looking lady, all right? She doesn't look like a Marxist to me in terms of how I think they should look if they are practicing what they preach, right? But then again, we have Bernie Sanders, who's a multimillionaire. Notice he doesn't talk about millionaires and billionaires anymore. He just castigates billionaires because he is a millionaire. And I heard he owns several properties. I don't think he lets anyone that's homeless live in his properties while he's not there. All right. But this is the same individual that's going to tell you that there should be a limit on how much money you can make. The Black Lives Matter head honchos, those ladies live in multi-million-dollar properties, but they have come out and said they are trained Marxists. All right. So this is what you get. Rules for thee, but not for me. Now, Miss CdeBaca does not appear to be Caucasian, so I guess she wouldn't be paying this tax, right? Candi CdeBaca, a 37-year-old Democratic socialist. Let me fix that for them. 37-year-old Marxist who is facing a runoff election in June told a business forum on Thursday that white-owned businesses should pay an additional race-based tax, which would be given in turn as reparations to minority-owned businesses. There are two ways that you white people up in Denver can avoid this if she tries to do this, okay? I'm going to tell you what those two ways are. And I'm also going to tell you how this is going to hurt the whole community if it's enacted. Capitalism was built on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen resources, CdeBaca told the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance on, according to News 9. Now look, on this channel, we tell the truth. I am a history buff. And as a history buff, I know that history is oftentimes not that pleasant. Now, look, here's the reality. She is correct when she says that capitalism, I would not say capitalism. I'd say the opening stages of the American economy was definitely built on slavery, not how you think. A lot of people run around and say, well, slaves built the country. Actually, slaves did play a large role in the agricultural underpinnings of the country. But here's what most people, I think they want to say, but may not know. Slavery in America involved a very complex financial infrastructure because slaves were often used as collateral, okay? Slaves were seen as property. And as such, the financial institutions of the day, many of them exist to this day in some form of fashion. They were willing to extend credit based on human beings. All right. And this credit did things. And, I'm going to do a video. I'll probably place it in the member section. But because we are getting that together. But I'm going to do a video on just that, how slavery in America was a financial institution and, believe it or not, was very instrumental in the beginning of Wall Street in setting that up physically and financially. So look, she's right. But here's the rub. I refuse to be held accountable for the sins of people who existed in my family, before I existed. I mean, I don't understand how that can happen. All right. So let's take an example of, let's take a plumber up in this area where CdeBaca is running for office, Denver. Let's take a plumber, white guy. He went to plumbing school or whatever and paid for it. Maybe he got, a student loan, who knows? Maybe he got trained in the military, who knows? And then he started up a company, a plumbing company. He took out a loan from a bank, okay? Maybe he borrowed funds from friends and family, bought himself a truck, did well, started to expand, hired people, okay? Business now has 2 locations, has 30 employees, people are eating, service is great, he's making money and paying taxes, everything's good, right? How the hell is he responsible for anything that happened during slavery, okay? And you want to talk about white privilege? Well, I know some white people that could sure use some white privilege, all right? I know quite a few of them, as a matter of fact. So CdeBaca is saying that, hey, we can just take the money from the white businesses that had nothing to do with slavery and give it to the black businesses who had nothing to do with slavery. And that should win me an election, right? All right. She said business improvement districts could levy this racial tax. You could be collecting those extra taxes from white-led businesses all over the city and redistributing them. So those Marxists love to talk that redistribution language. Redistributing them to black and brown owned businesses. Now, Miss CdeBaca appears to be Hispanic. I don't know. But it's funny how she slid in the black and brown businesses, right? Now, what exactly are these reparations for? Okay, that she's talking about. Why do brown people need? Well, brown people need the reparations too, right? Okay. But the white people going to pay for it all. Yeah, whatever. Critics clap back saying that the plan is illegal under federal and state law. I would at first blush think that would be the case. But then again, we are living in the alternate universe of 2023. And who the hell knows what's possible? Okay. So this is what this woman wants to do. She has come out on several other outlets and made comments to the effect that, I wasn't saying that, but I want to focus on a quote. I want to focus on this quote because she did say this. Okay. Now she's trying to back off. She's doing the whole playbook where she's saying, the white supremacists are against me. And I'm getting death threats. And if you are getting death threats, then that's regrettable. And people certainly should not do that. But come on. This is the Denver version of Jussie Smollett, I think. This is her quote. You could be collecting those extra taxes from white-led businesses all over the city and redistributing them to black and brown-owned businesses. So, lady, you did just that. You suggested a race-based, ethnicity-based tax. Okay? This is just crazy. All right, so how can you avoid this? Well, if you're white and you live in this area where CdeBaca is running for office, here's what you can do. It is 2023, remember, and you can identify as whatever you want. A tablecloth, if you want. So if there are certain advantages to being black when you go to decide whether or not you're going to pay this tax. Now, I'm just talking hypothetically here. You got to figure it out for yourself because you may be a white leftist and you may feel like you need more, self-flagellation, and okay, fine. You want to pay the tax, go for it. But if you don't, then maybe you want to identify as black. And in that case, you would be owed money. All right, so if you don't feel like doing that, if you don't want to play their game, another thing you could do is leave the jurisdiction. You could pick up your business and take it to somewhere where you won't be taxed based on the color of your skin like they used to do with poll taxes in the Jim Crow South when black people would show up to try to vote They would charge them a poll tax or give them a poll test, or, just basically discouraging them from exercising, participating in the franchise to vote. All right. This will discourage businesses from operating in that area. And to the extent black people live in the area, it will hurt them because it will take away the choices that they have of businesses to frequent. Okay. So you're already seeing the result of liberal policies cause businesses to get up and leave certain areas of the country. San Francisco is a prime example. And you would see the same thing here. I can tell you right now, if I owned a small business up there and I were white, I'd get the hell out of there. In fact, if I own a small business up there and I'm black like I am today,
and you ain't black,
then what I would do is I would seriously consider moving out also, because I would know. See, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about business. You know why you find a McDonald's in close proximity to a Burger King a lot of times? Because that competition is actually helpful for both businesses. There's the same reason why you may find 4 gas stations on 4 corners of one intersection. Okay. It's because that type of co-location tends to benefit businesses. It increases traffic. Okay. And so if I am sitting in San Francisco right now and I know that they're having a problem holding on to large businesses, I would think that's going to reduce foot traffic. I probably got to get the hell out of here for that reason alone, okay, let alone the crime and pestilence that is plaguing the city as well. So here we go. Here we are. We got race-based, I keep doing it, the man and his programming is powerful, but I resist. And resistance is not futile, okay? I don't care what the Borg says. Ethnicity-based taxation. This is dangerous. And if you want to know if something's wrong, just flip it, okay? Just flip it. Was not it wrong when they had poll taxes that prevented black people from voting in the Jim Crow South? Okay, if that was wrong, why isn't this? Okay? Just flip it around. Instead of a tax on white folk, make it a tax on black folk. If it's wrong then, why wouldn't it be wrong now? Bunch of white folk that had nothing to do with anything that may have occurred with your ancestors or mine. All right, guys, look, we got some stuff going on here with another bank. Now, I don't know, by the time you watch this could already been played out, but the fact of the matter is, in the early part of 2023, which we're in now, the banks are under tremendous pressure. We are seeing a sea change with regard to the small and mid-sized banks. And the bigger banks are profiting from that. Your relationship with a bank, you really need to sit down and ask some tough questions. Take a look at this video. We're going to give you some of the questions you need to contemplate in order to make sure your relationship with your bank is one that's fit for the long run. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.